G'day, we're back again for market update in relation to Zuccoli Aspire. I've got with me two gentlemen who you would obviously have seen in previous vlogs. We've got Mark McClelland, who is our Development Marketing Manager, and we have Adam McCann, who you will all very well know, I would imagine, from dealing with him on your purchase. Adam obviously heads up the sales, well, you're the sales manager, but we'll head up the sales out at Zuccoli Aspire. How are you today, mate?
Good, thanks, Glenn. Yourself?
Good. I'm going well. We were to have Hermanus, who is part of the development team for Zuccoli Aspire, here today. However, he is feverishly working on delivering the first of the blocks out there at Zuccoli, and obviously he's got tied up today. However, he tells me that we'll get an opportunity to sit down with him next week and discuss how close we are to handing over the blocks. Now, in talking about that, before we get onto that, because we have got a few little updates in regard to where we're at with stage 1A out there, I'm just going to throw over to Macca. How are you going with sales? Got plenty left, mate?
Not really, no. I'm down to about 12 at the moment,
yep.
But it's an evolving document which changes considerably, so I'm doing 10 or 11 changes a day with holds coming on and off, and contract signings. I think I've put away about another 6 or 7 this week, which is good. So
great.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the next stage to get more clarity when we can release that.
You were saying to me earlier or yesterday afternoon that the demand that you were getting out there at the moment has actually increased since the end of last year.
It has.
Yeah, getting a lot more people interested.
Yeah, I've had probably 25 to 30 inquiries in the last 2 to 3 weeks, which I couldn't supply the land size they're looking for. So, which to me, demand is really picking up, which is a good thing for us.
So obviously, with only 12 blocks left out there, out of I think we made about 210 sales or something there or thereabouts.
Roughly.
Okay. So with about 12 blocks left out there, clearly we can't supply the demand that we've currently got. We've got more stuff coming on, Mark.
We certainly do. Stage 2 is imminent. Let's say. We don't really know the date yet, but we're probably, I'd say, about 2 weeks away.
And that's indicated, constituting about 200 blocks?
206.
206 blocks, okay. And that'll be, there'll be 3 parts to that stage, I believe, at this point in time?
3 parts as we understand it with regard to the issue of title.
Oh, okay.
However, we possibly are looking at releasing either all or breaking it down a little bit further. So, because the first stage is really only 20 blocks, and
right.
we probably have the demand for that immediately.
Well, we've already got the buyers for the 20 straight away. Yeah. And that, and this, it's interesting with this, the demand that we've had, you've worked very closely with the developer in relation to the block sizes in this stage 2A, I think it's going to be. Yep. The block sizes in there you've worked very closely with. Where's been the I mean, obviously we've had demand for every size block through there with only 12 left. However, there has been a significantly larger demand from buyers for a specific sort of area, hasn't there, between 400 and 500?
Yeah, look, probably 380 to 480.
Okay.
That's probably where the, would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And so this next stage has been very much tailor-made to suit that?
It's feeding that. Yes.
Okay, that's good. All right, the question that's on everybody's lips, and we know certainly in stages 1A and 1B, is when are titles to be delivered. We're constantly looking at updates in relation to that and talking to the developers very closely to see exactly where the earthworks are actually at. We got an email yesterday. Initially we'd said that the earthworks would be handed over on the 29th. It's probably not going to be that date, but it's only days apart, isn't it, at the moment, it appears like?
Yeah, it's pretty close. To be completely honest with you, it's a day-by-day proposition at the moment, so it is imminent. But yeah, we're just waiting on a few little bits.
Well, it's raining out there at the moment, and we obviously got a bit last night. Probably not enough to stop any progress out there. However, you know, we're always mindful of that. Every day that we get a massive amount of rain, it puts us back a day, as we know. However, in saying that, the indication was that they could be laying asphalt as early as Friday this week. That's what we've been told from the developers, and obviously then it's all the tidy up stuff that goes around it to the handover. Now, that's probably not going to be a handover from earthworks on Monday, but from the email we got, if all augurs well over the next week, it may be that week. So it's very, very close. It's nice that we're only missing a time frame at the moment by days rather than weeks and months. So that's certainly better, isn't it? One of the so that's 1A. All things being equal, people keep asking us about the process in regard to titling. There's two different ways to look at it. We try to be to give ourselves a little bit of space in relation to this. The process, we're told from a government perspective, from the time that titling commences to finishes, they're saying the window they're working on is
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Recently we had a development that the window of 4 weeks was met within 10 days.
Correct. Yep.
So it is a flexible time frame, and obviously titling then means that titling, once it's titled, then it can be settled upon. Depending upon how ready purchasers are, then they may be able to settle within 48 hours.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's so obviously if you're sitting there and you're talking to your bank. Right now, if you want to get in there as early as possible, make sure they're ready, because we don't want it to push out to 21 days afterwards.
That's correct.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're in a rush, you don't want to put out to 21 days afterwards. So, as you can see, this is why we're dealing with flexible timeframes, because we don't know how quickly things are going to actually come through government, because that's not a process that we can control. Similarly, it's not a process we can control about the weather and the earthworks and all those things. So we're sitting here talking to you and we're completely out of control. Would that be fair?
Well,
that's probably a fair assumption. Absolutely.
It's important to remember the updates that we give are what we're directed to give. So
exactly.
We're told a certain date, we communicate that date, and if the date changes, well, it's not our control. We do what we can, and we try to be upfront and honest with everyone at the same time, but sometimes there is delays which are out of our...
Just so that you know, you are looking at the complaints department on the far right of your screen. His name's Adam McCann, and he loves getting abused, so you should give him a buzz. Is that right, Macca?
I love it.
Absolutely love it. Now, 1B, very hard to get a timeline in relation to that. Obviously, in the initial stages, the developer has indicated to us they would be around about 3 months separated from the time that titles are issued on 1A to the time that titles are issued on 1B, just as a natural progression. What they have had the opportunity to do, and you can certainly see that from the pictures, and I mean this is only me speculating, but you can certainly see from the pictures they appear to be far more advanced on 1B than what they were on 1A at this time if there was a 3 month gap. I'd be very surprised if there was a 3 month gap between. However, in saying that, that's only pure speculation. So for those of you waiting on dates on 1B, I can't give you anything definitive. I don't know if you guys know any more about that than what I do.
Oh, look, I drive out there once or twice a week, just have a bit of a look around. Yep. And I know when they were supposed to be going flat out on 1A, when they had a few hold-ups with weather conditions, they weren't sitting down, they were
flat out on 1B.
On 1B. So, yep. Look, pure speculation on our part to name a date or a month even, however, but it's not that far behind 1A.
And then I also know the A1 and A2 purchases is that right? Got that right?
Yes.
A1, A2? A1, A2 purchases.
Sorry, 1B1.
A1B1, A1B1 purchases. There is no reason to be looking and thinking that the timeline changes that have occurred on 1A will affect A1 and B1, just for the pure fact that obviously as the developer gets, or as the earthworks get more, they get more knowledge in relation to what it is that they're doing out there, they can probably churn things quicker than what they have in 1A. That's what we're looking at. The developer is looking at pumping out 300 blocks a year. That's what the target's always been. So we're anticipating that process will continue to roll, and obviously we can continue to deliver blocks for people to purchase and blocks for people to actually build upon.
Yeah, and it's fair to say, as the developers are informing us, is that the first stage of any land release is the most difficult to achieve.
Yep.
Because that is the learning curve. That
yep.
is whether they've hit rock or whether they've hit other issues that are aligned to actually getting land ready for the build. Once this stage is over, that realistically time frame can actually be then amended and fixed and say, yeah, we're on target for that.
To be fair, it's they're learning as they go about the land that they're pulling apart, and as you learn, you get quicker at your fixes. You learn how to overcome those things, and so there's no reason to believe that the time frames that we're talking about for 1B, A1, B1, 2A, all of those things won't actually get closer to an estimated delivery date than what we are with 1A. 1A is where the trouble comes in.
Yes.
So, anything you wanted to add, Macca?
No, you've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next week we're going to have, on promise, we're going to have Hermanus down here, and hopefully next week when he's down here he'll be telling you the exact dates that we're anticipating titling. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That'd be good.
And he'll be able to tell us the exact dates that stage 2 is going to be able to be released as well. So it may, with a little bit of luck, it might actually be that weekend.
That you never know.
That'd be really good.
And I think fair to also say is that once we are told of that date, your conveyancers and yourselves will be very strongly communicated to say, yes, it has happened. Start preparing, get your banks ready. It is imminent, we just can't give you that date at this stage, as Glenn has already explained. That title process is to its maximum of 4 weeks. It may be earlier, but be in the ready.
Be prepared for the fact that this again is the first lot of titles that are being applied for with Zuccoli Aspire. This is the titling process that's likely to take the longest. This is the groundbreaker, stage 1B to A1, B1, 2. Obviously, we're going to be fully aware of the process, the developers, and it will float through without any hiccups. But the first one, you know, they're likely to be the longest part of the titling process. In saying that, we're hopeful there won't be, because we've got an experienced man at the helm in Hermanus. He's done a lot of titling with other developments, and the work he's putting in behind the scenes hopefully is paving the way for a smooth process with a bit of luck.
And I hope you all saw in the last lot of photos, there is actually street light posts up now, so
yeah,
it's looking good.
Street pole, I even got excited the other day. It looked like asphalt, it was just black.
Yeah, it's just black.
It was just black, but it looks like asphalt. All right, thanks a lot for joining us today. Thanks a lot, Mark and Macca, and we look forward to giving you an update real soon. Catch you later.
Enjoy.
Thank you.